Yeah, so before that, I think we probably very much relied on people within the club, and we were really lucky and really grateful to be able to get that support. But I guess I suppose with the challenges of cost of living and just financial challenges in general, I suppose we didn't want to necessarily continue to ask then. But in fairness, um, actually highlighting the benefits of what we can offer sponsors, which is what Snap has kind of offered us, has actually meant we've been able to probably still keep some of those local sponsors, because we've probably been better understanding the benefits that we offer them, as opposed to maybe that initial thought of actually being a club that were seeking that financial support to obviously to help us survive as a community sort of sport. But yeah, seeing the benefit of both ways then, because of Snap, whereas before that maybe was very much more one directional about helping us to develop. Okay, well, I guess the sort of the journey with Snap is still relatively new from my perspective. Maybe yeah. So we've secured three sponsors in the time that we've been with Snap. That has come as an overall cost benefit to us at about what would that be? Probably just over £600, yeah. So that's been our sort of benefit from that since we've been with Snap, and we've probably been there over sort of a 4 or 5 month-ish period of time. But you might need to check that with them, because time goes so quick. Prior to that, probably haven't necessarily divided that up into sort of yearly sponsorships, but what we have done, we've been in existence probably for about 3 years, and prior to that, probably we would have let me see, about we might well have had something along the lines of £1,500 to £2,000 of sponsorship across companies that helped us in different ways, whether be that with kit or helping with attending events and things like this, and different formats of financial, because it has always been, maybe finance has also been supporting us in different ways, if you like. So probably maybe about 2,000 over maybe a 2.5 year period potentially. Yeah, about that, I'd say. Yeah, so I suppose a bit like what I touched on a little bit earlier is, I think first of all it's really beneficial to have kind of like a gateway where you can access more information about what we're about and what packages we can offer for sponsors. So the kind of the web page, the landing page, I suppose, is probably quite a big thing for us. It's an opportunity to talk about our values of what we're about and why we exist, and then people who are wanting to consider it a bit more, as well as just myself talking or my colleagues chatting to them, it's also an opportunity for them to have a look at the packages in a bit more detail. You then got people like George, who I've been working with, who's kind of helped support myself. I like to think I'm okay on IT, but there's some things I'm probably not too IT literate on, and so he's been really good at sort of ironing out those challenges and helping some of the digitalization of the ideas that I've got on the Snap platform, and been able to create certain things like PDF packages of our email trails about why the sponsorship could obviously be a help for us as a community company, a community sports team, but obviously for the community company or a national company or whatever it is, the benefits for them as well. And George and the team kind of help break that down and create estimates of benefits really for them that probably gives us a better understanding that we are kind of equally being of help, as opposed to as I said earlier, as opposed to a typical club that are just seeking to gain resource off. It's kind of a two-way thing, basically. Yeah, so I suppose you think about that timeline over 3 years, then I guess it's sort of generally quite sporadic, and or has been quite sporadic over that time. I think we probably would have, maybe at the start of our time where things were quite new and fresh and exciting, might have done quite well to start, and then maybe have a lull, and then been lucky with one or two other opportunities again. So I guess there hasn't been that consistency, whereas although there might have been a bit of time and prep to get everything up and running with Snap, I think what you then saw was we are 3-4 months before our season starts, and we've already got that structure in place now for aiming for the right amount of sponsorship and a tally of what we think would be helpful to allow our service our service. So you can tell I've been at work today. Sorry if you want me to stop and start again. Just that it's giving us that structure to plan ahead is what I'm trying to say. So that 3-4 months, that whatever it is to be sort of getting into that planning, I guess it's no sort of no sort of accident then that the three sponsorships that we got kind of all came at the same time once we were ready to kind of go, and then people like George then helping sort of iron that out and getting that up and running. Although there's a process, because you've got someone like George there, it's not necessarily needs to be a linear process. If there's ways that people want to give us money in different ways, or help it, or be part of our sponsorship process in different ways, there's a way to get around any particular web page process or whatever to upload that and so on. So and obviously the benefits as well have been sort of the social media interactions as well. So the guys have been really good at helping help promote. I'm kind of run the Instagrams and all that kind of stuff at the moment. Need to have pass it on to someone a bit more young and knows what they're doing. But George has been able to help sort of guide us through that part as well. I guess that sort of reoccurring theme is is I'm trying to understand what the ask is really, and I guess previously the perception would be the ask is about myself or our club asking for finances to support the development of our team or players and training and kit and travel, etc. Whereas having a better understanding and education of the benefit of bringing a local community sponsor on board and the financial benefit for them, but also that sort of community benefit for them as well. And we've and sort of getting that branding right for the right thing. We've done very well. I think it was really helpful for people like George to check in on how much kit we sell, and with our sort of major first top, we've got something like 100 tops that have gone out from over the years. So 100 people walking around the area with that top is good branding for those people who've got that. So understanding that has been really helpful. So it was what we wouldn't really have had that nous about what we were asking for before, whereas now we've got a bit of clarity of what the benefit is for the people that are coming on board to be part of our sponsorship. Yeah, so like I said earlier, just the basics of having a platform really where people can go to as almost like a landing web page really about what we are. Obviously the main aim of the Snap aspect of that is for people to go and have a look at the packages for sponsorship, being able to load them up and create professional looking packages of sponsorship that people can either make contact with us if they want to know more, or directly put money straight into that on via the web page to secure the deal, and then we're able to give a little bit of extra information on what that what the benefit looks like for the people that are coming on board. Maybe if you put all that on your social media or Instagram or whatever, that's a lot of content for people to have to go and read. That maybe probably isn't really the style of a lot of these social media formats. So it's quite handy to have that available to break down. And then I guess the feature that I've been probably more looking at more recently is the just that ability to show the numbers benefit as an estimate of what people would get back if they were to invest in our club and any piece of kit or an event. How much that as an estimate would the branding would get out for them, and potential then income that could come back from that. With say for example, we were looking at a friend of mine that's was considering some sponsorship with regards to a driving instructor service, for people who want to learn to drive, and you could immediately see the direct impact for someone like that if he was to consider to be part of our service, just because of this for his service to be part of our team, just because of amount of youngsters we've got, and you can see the connection there already. But and I think the people who have invested with us, be that personal trainers or fitness people, and more recently someone that does rugby training, coaching and things like this, so there's that immediate direct link and benefit that Snap are able to kind of help formalize into showing us what the benefit truly is. So I think on that front, specifically for us, we probably had the previous information about gaining access to some of the more local companies that would regularly support teams that are local. So it helped us sort of tighten that up from a professional perspective to make sure if we did pick up any people that were keen to help sponsor locally, that we did it with a bit more professionalism, and I think that's really helped. So people that are local, so we've got a motorbike company that are local that have come on board, a carpentry company that have come on board, so hopefully they feel that they really had a huge impact on the community impact of things. And recently seen that George from Snap had pushed a message on LinkedIn to one of the sponsors to kind of help and sort of almost remind them that how helpful what they've achieved and what we need to achieve to help them. So I think there's kind of that two-way community going on since we've done that. But the kind of the stage now, and maybe the next stage really, is if there aren't anyone local, then is how do we then move on to sort of bigger companies nationally, internationally. And we've been able to get one company, I don't know if we're allowed to name them, but being able to have someone that's kind of one of the biggest YouTube viewing companies for rugby in the UK to be part of our part of this, and to be getting like a food chain, although kind of linked locally, things like that have a huge benefit. So it's been really good to have that sort of higher level sponsorship, and that's kind of where we probably are next, having to look at what we've got on our plans as part of the sort of the aims of the funding that we were hoping to reach this year. Yeah, I suppose it's hard to say, obviously, whether what the actual outcome could be. I suppose what's exciting, though, I suppose maybe instead of maybe aimlessly or without structure, kind of aiming as a wish really to engage with certain companies, I guess that hope becomes a lot stronger and a lot more confident that you're delivering it in a bit more of a professional manner, and you're confident that you're delivering the key sort of asks and messages through the structures that are being put in place. Obviously the outcome will always be 50-50 based on that, but you kind of hope that the percentage of that goes past 50-50 because of the effort that's been put in by Snap, and then the confidence that gives a club like ourselves. So I said that the sort of biggest one has been one of the the rugby coaching service that is it's kind of is UK based, but London based and kind of national as well. So I think they've been really complimentary of the things like the social media support that we've been able to give and promote, and which again has been mutually beneficial for us as well. I think we had a session with that sponsor on Sunday, and my Instagram our Instagram has gone absolutely mental. We've it's very rare that we're sort of hitting 250, 300 likes from something that only happened yesterday, but we kind of have that direct impact there. That's been really good, and so I think obviously that's as a mutual benefit there then, and we'll have players that will be going, well, how do I access this service? And so that generates that aspect for them, so we're able to create those links, and we'll obviously promote the name quite regularly for one of the recent events. So for example, that sponsorship was particularly linked to one of our teams, so that gets mentioned and seen quite a lot, and it's quite surprising how people like wearing some kit from a social perspective, maybe not even part of the team. So I'd say that there are benefits there, and that's quite early benefits for that person, so hopefully that will be sustained. For others, it's also just that wanting to show that they want to help the community. So one of the carpentry company that's going to go on one of our wet weather sleeve tops, because we kind of knew that they wanted to have that helpful aspect more than being too fussed about the promotion, to be fair to them. What we've deliberately done is made sure that all our kids get those tops at a discounted rate now. So just to show that we can come back to him and say, well, actually, this is what that's gone back into, is helping all the kids, and especially with cost of living and so on. So I guess there's that aspect that he gets back, or that company gets back as well. And then the third company that we've got, the motorbike company, that I suppose again recent one, and I suppose the benefit for them is they've come in and actually they're one of the players. They're someone that's found it's a new sport for them. They haven't played rugby for a long time, so they wanted to take something different because of previous injuries, so they're taking on touch rugby. They immediately put their hand up to say, well, actually I'd like to invest in that and show benefit for the club as well. So we've got them as the main sponsor on some of our wet weather gear. That will help, especially these sort of current dark months. It's going to be very helpful. So and then hopefully what will happen is people will see that top and see everything we do social media wise. We also are more than happy to go to events for them as well. So if we put that in the package as well, in the sort of written contract of the package that George and the team helped create. So they still have that longevity of things as well. And although we'll be a bit more disciplined now with the support of someone like George and Snap, that we might keep that to sort of a year of sponsorship and then look at a new redrive of stuff next year. Hopefully it's a relationship that we can carry on with all these people, even if they don't carry on financially sponsoring us. We've got that link for, say, for example, the bike company, where we've gained a really cool player that's will add to our player group then.